Alright, y'all, back here. This corner from Scrubs for Hire, and we're back here with the legend himself, the Rhinestone Cowboy, Mason himself. We got 16th place at the Borough Regional, put his baby toe back in here and got a top again. And what were you playing, man?
I was playing Spellbook Paleo.
That's janky. Alright, so we're going to go over this deck profile real quick.
Alright. I haven't played in a while. I decided to get back in. I had Toad, so I just got a few more cards to make it good and played it. Anyways, I mean, if you just play 3 of each and 2, I wouldn't deviate from this. If you play 3 of this, it's a break. If you play 2 of this, you're gonna hit it with Desires. You're not gonna have any targets for Toad. This is the absolute best card. There are times during the tournament where I would Spellbook a Secrets just for a blue boy to ditch it for this, and then go off my combo anyways. It works. Play two of the Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. You can't go in a Toad with him because he's a spellcaster, but you can make Mr. Boy with him. You're searching your secrets. There's many times where I had knowledge in hand. I would search this, play secrets, and add the other one to ditch with the Swap Frog, so I could have the draw and the Toad. Also, if you don't be afraid to ditch this with Toad, ditch this with a Swap Frog, because when Toad dies, you can add it back and then normal summon and search of knowledge and Pot of Greed again. That's also good. And you can make anything in your extra deck with this except Toad. I played some hand traps. I played Magazine. I never saw it. I never drew it at all in the entire tournament. I didn't need it really. And I played 2 Ash. I wouldn't play 3 in here because it can be a brick. But like 2 was perfect. Every time I needed it, I saw it. There was plenty of times where it would just carry the game by itself. And then I played 1 Gamma still. I've seen some people playing 2 of this. I know True Draco still exists in the format, but it's not that big of a deal. Like, there's not that much. And if you do come across it, like, this isn't your only out anymore. You can Cat Shark over if you bait, and there's a lot of side deck options too. Spells, I play 2 Knowledge, 3 Secrets. I was playing 2 Secrets before the event, but right before sign-ups, I changed it back to 3, and that was the best decision ever. Because when you're running over 40 cards, you want to see this. You want to see Blue Boy every time. And if you see this without a Blue Boy, it's really bad. But I did play an extra deck option for this, just in case that would ever happen. I played 2 Desires. 3 is really bad. You only want to resolve 1. If you're playing 45 or less, you only want to resolve 1. The best spell card of the entire weekend was Scapegoat. The reason you play this is because you're trying to make the 1 card Borreload. That comes up way more than you think it would. Because you can, I played against Invoked, and I in-phase Scapegoated, and I made the Borreload. He had a Crystal Wing out that couldn't be destroyed by card effects. And you can swing at it, and then battle phase, use Borreload's effect, and since you can't chain to it, and Crystal Wing can't negate it, so it's 35 to his 3,000, you just run it over. And you can take anything you want with Borreload. It's a big monster that Frog decks never had access to before. Oh, and a fun fact: if you don't want to go Borreload and you're trying to push for damage, if you activate this in phase during your turn and you clear that board somehow, if you go into Link Spider Proxy, that's 4,400 damage by itself without Borreload. So that's also an option. The main part of the deck. Well, I play one more spell. I play Soul Charge. This is my own little tech. The reason I play it is because if, like, mid-game, you have this and this in your graveyard, what you can do is you can Soul Charge these 2 back. After his effect to drop a Run-In Totem or whatever you want, his effect, pop this back to hand, normal summon it and search of knowledge, and you draw 2, and then make the Toad. That came up like a couple times, but like I didn't draw this a lot.
Still skill charge.
Yeah.
Still.
Traps, the main part of the deck. I played 1 Leon Colia. It came up a lot because you banish a lot in this deck. I wouldn't play more than 1. 1 was fine. I played 3 of the other ones. Against Pendulum, your main engine just takes care of that whole deck because you're taking care of the scales with this. If they Pendulum out from their extra deck for like. They put them out from the extra deck in their hand. You just book the 1 in the extra monster zone, and this is basically D-Barrier versus Pendulum now.
Yeah.
Because if you hit their extra main monster zone 1, they're just done for the turn. They can't progress farther than that. And this is really good versus Pendulum over this sometimes because a lot of the Pendulum cards now have an effect when they're destroyed and they search, but you just get banished. And this is the greatest utility I had during the entire event. And I only played 10 Paleozoics. It wasn't when I needed them, they were there, but I didn't get overbeared by multiples of them. For the non-paleo traps, I played 2 Heavy Storm Duster. This was insane, the entire event, especially against Pendulum, like we just talked about.
Yep.
I had a guy play double Wisdom Mine. I Heavy Storm Dustered him. He ended his turn.
Ouch.
I hit multiple light stages with it. I really hated, I really didn't like this card against True Draco. I lost to a True Draco, but yeah, you have to play it. It's really good. I played 2 Mistake. I'm not too sure how I feel about this. If you go first, it's really good, but this deck's really built for going second now. But I still chose to go first whenever I had the option because you can set up with your Toad and your traps and all that. But when it worked, it worked. But when I drew it late, it was really bad. But I think I would still play it though, because it's really strong versus a lot of things. This is the worst card the entire weekend. I played this anticipating Rogue, and every time I saw it, it got discarded for like Dynamiscus or something. I never used it. And like, it's really bad if it's Pendulum. I basically sided it for Spiral, because when they go to their full link board and you hit them with a Storming, they just can't come back. And this gets rid of Sleeper too, because it's not destroying him. But it was terrible. I wouldn't play this again.
Easy side out.
And then the best card of the entire deck, evenly matched. There's
God.
every time I 2-0'd every Pendulum because of this card, because they would go first even after I win game 1. If they didn't see this, they still chose to go first, and then they got blew out by it. They would make the perfect board. They'd have like Tornado Dragon. They would have their scale. They would be protected by Pendulum Call or whatever. It didn't matter because like evenly matched just gets them. The first Pendulum guy I played of the day, I played this, and then he chained Pendulum Graph to pop it. And the way it goes is at the end of the chain, this isn't on field anymore. So when it resolves, it banishes your opponent its entire board because you don't control any cards anymore. So it just wipes his whole board, just banish everything face down. Yeah. That's the main deck. It was 43. Before I continue, I owe a lot of this deck build to Alfie Daglifson. He topped the ARG with it. I just made a couple edits, but most of the theory behind this deck is his. For the extra deck, I had the Field Center and the 4 Scapegoat tokens. We played 3 Toad because, I mean,
Toad.
This is 99% of the time you're summoning this.
Water. Yep.
Like, I played 1 Open Beania. Most people play 2, but I played Shining Elf over the second one, just in case it would ever happen where you can't make the Toad because you have a Blue Boy, but you can make this. Well, no, not a Blue Boy, but if there was any way that you needed to activate to resolve knowledge where you were already ahead in the game, you didn't have a spellcaster, you could make this and resolve it.
Yeah.
I played this, I never made it, but this Pendulum is really broken. I played this. This was insane versus Invoked, because if they make Cactus on you, you just summon this and bounce it back. I bounced the Beals with it when I was playing this Pendulum too. And then I played the 2-card OTK combo.
Yeah. Still relevant.
This and Mr. Boy is 8,000 exact. So if they have a clear field, you just tear them up with that. That's all the Exceeds I played. If I had to go play, I would not play this again probably. I mean, it never came up. But I don't know if I play a second one of these. I think I play another Link or something. 1 Proxy Dragon and 2 Link Spiders because it's part of the and a Borreload because it's part of the Scapegoat combo.
Yep.
This card is ridiculous. Like, because this deck doesn't usually have access to a card like this, and they're not expecting it. Well, they might now, but he's essentially 35 when you utilize his effect, and it gets you over. Like, I summoned this against Spiral in the testing the night before, and I summoned it, and he realized that he actually couldn't do anything to it because he doesn't mandate any outside of the Tripwire, and he already used the Tripwire, so he just scooped it up because Sleeper can't do anything to this card.
Nope.
And then the other 2 I played 2 Miss Starboy. Surprisingly, you ended up making this more than you think you do. There's times I made Miss Starboy, and I had the Gamma Seal that they gave me over my Toad, and it's attack for game with it because the Gamma Seal has gained 1,000. He's 32 now, and he's attacking for 24s.
Right.
But yeah,
A big ass.
What that side deck look like?
the side deck,
Janky.
I wasn't. It's okay, but like, I didn't really need it that much because my whole main deck is basically a side deck.
Yeah.
I side deck a Gamma Still and a Cubungus. I mean, these are self-explanatory. They just helped a lot. The only cards that actually helped a lot were these two, Dark Hole Regeki. I sided these in a lot, like almost every game. That was going second. Round 1 I played against ABC and I sided these two in and I blew them out with it. So, I mean, I think ABC is one of my worst up matchups, so it just happened. So I just sided it. I set it to Warning and 2 strikes. I sided these in going first. This card, I've seen this. I never saw this. I'm glad I saw this because it didn't happen, but I was afraid of Denko, and I had 4 set with this set too. So if you had Denko, it didn't matter. I sided this once. It came up. They tried to cosmic me, and I just chained it and tried to Paleo and killed him. That's the only time this ever came up. I sided this for going Pendulum, but your deck already has a good Pendulum matchup, and it's good versus a lot of rogue stuff. And I sided 3 anti-spell, but I've never sided it during the event because I feel like I didn't need it because Pendulum just loses this deck no matter what. Cool. And that's about it. Again, I guess shout out to Alfie from the ARG. Again, he was the major part of the deck building this deck. And yeah.
So what did you see the most of at the event? Like, what deck was it like the most? Besides Pendulum Magician.
It was really diverse, to be honest. Like round 1, played ABC. Round 2, played Pendulum. Round 3 was Trickstar. Round 4 was True Draco. 5 was Trickstar again. 6 was Invoked. And 7 was Pendulum. Like it's a whole like there wasn't a lot of Spiral there, to be honest. And even when there was, I saw them getting beat by regular decks. So I mean, they lost enough consistency to take them down a peg.
Cool. All right, well, congrats on my top, man, and we'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Deuces.
Thanks, Robbie.
Invincible.